I am back with a brand new video. Hi everyone, how y'all doing? I know I took like 3 weeks to put out a brand new video, but guess what? For the past 2 weeks there's been so much going on, and I had a death in my family. My cousin passed away, so I was not in the happy smiley mood to do a video, and I didn't want that to be translated into what I want to say this evening, but a lot has been going on, and I'm sure a lot has been going on in your lives as well. But I hope everybody is okay. I mean, we have this mass vaccination going on. Our borders are finally open, so I know a lot of people will be coming in, and there is so much to be said, but I'll leave it like that for now. I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping before I get into today's topic. So a lot of persons have been asking me, Elena, when are you going to put out a new video? And a video would be out, but they're not getting the notifications. So I want to ask you all to just check on my channel ever so often to see when the videos come up, because I think my algorithms is not so good, and I guess that's why, I'm just guessing that's why some persons are not getting the notifications when I put out a new video. But I am also happy to say that I have over 600 subscribers. I am so happy, guys. I'm really happy. I mean, y'all make me work so hard for this 600. But guess what? I have passed 600, so I'm asking you all to do this.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Elena Elaine. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so we are back, and let me see. I think there is something else I wanted to talk to you all about a bit before I get into today's topic. I'm sure you all saw it, but I really felt that this topic is also a very good conversation to have with you all, and I am quite certain you all are very familiar with colorism and how it's affecting the Black community. I know it's a very uncomfortable subject, and some persons find like maybe I talk about it too much, and they like try to dumb me down not to talk about it. But why not talk about it, because it is something that is affecting the Black community, and I think that is something that we need to talk about a bit more, because it will help us to overcome a lot of insecurities that we may have about so many things surrounding who we are and how our physical makeup is. And I just think that we shouldn't be having this as a taboo subject. We're supposed to be actually engaging one another and trying to encourage one another in the insecurities that we may have, right? So anyway, I have a plethora of experiences, so I always like to start with me first, and then I'll go into various topics. I kind of made some notes. Don't worry about my little tiger. He's keeping me company today. So anyway, I want to talk about this issue, and of course I'll start with me. I have experienced colorism for a long time, and the reason why I can have so many experiences to talk about being shaded, if you want me to say that, with this colorism thing is because, as I told you all, I used to be in the arts, so I'd love dancing, singing, I love acting, so I was pretty much very active and very much engaged in things that I would be interacting with persons of different class and so on. But I want to give this particular experience I had. I was in my early 20s, And as you all know, I used to work in the hotel industry, whatever. But one time I had this big dream of becoming a flight attendant. So there were several airlines that I would have applied to and stuff like that. But this one particular airline had really, it's etched in my mind because it's not a very good experience I had. So long and short, I applied to this airline and I was successful. The first and second interview, I was very successful. They were so pleased with me. They loved how I answered. I had all the charm, the charisma, the smile. Anyway, so you know, this time they had to do security background check. So I already had a job. I did my medical and everything was good until I had to do the security background check. And this particular official or this personnel had an issue with my race. I have to say race, right? And I would never forget the question that he asked me. He said, "Do you think you have to pay a heavy price for being black?" Now, mind you, I'm 23. So, and I really want a job. So when, you know, I'm being asked this question, I froze up. I just didn't even know how to answer this because this is somebody came to my home asking me this question and it appeared to be racist. But guys, it doesn't stop there. He went on to say that, you know, you should try to go away because, you know, I once knew a woman, she was black and ugly and she can make it hair. Guys, I cannot make this up. I swear, this is a conversation this man is having with me, right? So he said, you know, I once knew a woman who was black and ugly and, you know, she couldn't make it here and she went away and she did well. And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Is he saying I'm black and ugly? But in essence, he had an issue with my race. And what he did, and I got the inside information, was that he told the airline that they should reconsidering hiring me as a flight attendant because I live in a gangster area and there are chances that I can bring drugs on the plane. That is the truth. I'm not making this up. And the very next day, I got a call from the airline stating that they are retracting my application. I'm no longer hired. And I was very devastated. I was so devastated. I was so devastated. But you know, that was just one example. So as I said, I was into acting. So sometimes I would get these calls to go on auditions and like for TV shows and not plays so much, but like TV shows, advertisements and stuff like that. And many times when you go, it's like, oh, that, you know, you were really good, you know, and they just keep not picking me. But when I look at when these ads come out or when the TV show comes out, it's like the person they pick never look like me, over and over and over. So you start thinking maybe there is another motive behind, you know, not just looking for talent, but looking for a particular look. And I had experienced that for a long time, and I'm quite certain that I am not unique. I know a lot of persons would have these experiences and the feeling, you know, it's like very covert sometimes, but you feel that tension, you know that you're not the fit. But what I want to actually delve deeper and talk about is that racism and colorism, it's not the same, right? Racism has a lot to do with white supremacy. Colorism has to do with the color of your skin, yes, but the shade. So I will not pass the brown paper bag test. And I realized that when I look back, a lot of us learned colorism at home, because even in the home there would be statements made about certain things. So you'd hear, like, sometimes adults, not so much in my home, but probably in other homes, so I'm just making a general comment, right? Now I want to put out a disclaimer before I go any further into this video, and I should have said it in the beginning of the video, and it's now coming back to me. What I'm saying is not intended to offend anybody. It's not throwing shade at anyone. I am just speaking my truth, and I'm just speaking on experiences, and I think that it is a topic that needs to be discussed a lot more, and not be in the background. And why you want to talk about that? You always talking about that, eh? But guess what? It is affecting us, and it is real, pandemic or not. I think that this is something that we should be able to talk about freely. So I put some things, and I'll start first with sometimes the comments we make about our texture of our hair. Now, I'm quite certain that we can relate to the very derogatory comments made by even people that look like us about our texture of hair. So we've had statements like, I don't want no late for school children, picky hair, nappy head, china green, gren, all these derogatory remarks that we make about our own hair. And what it does is that it just breeds or it cultivates, rather, hatred for our hair. We sometimes we make statements to our children like, make sure when you bring your husband home or your wife home that you ain't bring no hard head woman here for me, or you ain't bring no roll up head man for me. I want soft hair. And yes, we make these statements. It is true, and we need to stop that, right? We need to embrace who we are and love who we are, love our hair. Now I wear weaves, right? I wear weaves, I wear wigs, but I wear my natural hair as well, right? I have no problem wearing my natural hair, but I wear weaves and wigs not because I feel insecure about my hair, but I just like different looks. But if you examine yourself and you realize that why you covering up your hair is because you hate your hair, then you probably need to look at that, yeah? And now there are a lot of products on the shelf that manipulates our hair, and they put it so nicely on the label, like let your natural curls come in, soften the hair, and psychologically, whether intentionally or unintentionally, it does something for us. So we feel that even just wearing our texture of hair is like, we need to kind of manipulate it. We don't want the china green or the gren showing behind, so we want it to look soft and curly. Our ancestors would have gone through so much during slavery, during the Jim Crow era, even here in Trinidad and Tobago. I remember as a child, there were certain persons that weren't allowed in certain establishments. So like the banks, you would see a certain type of people, a certain class of grocery, you'd see a certain type of people, and even Like I said this, sometimes in certain industries, you're not gonna see anybody looking like me working there. I mean, we've come a long way now and we're more accepting, but we still have a lot of work to do because you still hear the derogatory comments, from us. Even like sometimes how excited we get when, one of our family members is aligned with another race. We get excited because you know what? They're gonna bring home a light-skinned baby. They're gonna bring home a child with good hair and nice eyes. And we don't realize that the younger generation listening to that is saying, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I need to be light-skinned. Maybe I need to have a certain texture of hair to be accepted. And we do this all the time, and it has been going on for a long, long time, and it continues to happen. And I think that we have a lot of persons walking around with low self-confidence, low self-esteem, depressed, unhappy, have all this thing, living externally, watching all the pretty girls on Instagram at a certain color and stuff like that, and we are feeling inadequate and we're not feeling good enough. I'm here to tell you today, boys and girls, men and women, you are good enough. You're good enough. All right? And it's so funny that we are left to feel ashamed of our skin color, or if we're too dark. We don't want to have somebody call us too dark. I remember in primary school a girl crying because somebody was saying she was black. And she's like, no, I'm not black, I'm brown. Because black, the word black, has been associated with a very negative connotation. Black magic, your heart black, I don't like darkness. And even sometimes you say things like your mother left you in the oven too long, how you come out so dark, especially if you have siblings who are lighter skin complexion. And we do this to one another. It is a fact. What I wanted to say as well too, that there's a lot of blackfishing going on. I don't know if you know about blackfishing, but it's where these popular Instagram models and or on social media are actually using filters to darken their skin because they want to have that exotic look, and they realize that dark-skinned girls are getting a lot of shine on social media, so they are actually darkening their skin, and we are using filters to lighten our skin. So sometimes even the other races realize how beautiful our melanin is, and if you study melanin, you are going to love the skin that you're in. Even the texture of your hair, the melanin in your hair is good for the sun. Your eyes, the brown eyes that you have, that is the melanin in your skin. And I think because we are so ignorant about our skin and the melanin on our skin, and the darker your skin is, it's like gold. Because we don't have that knowledge, that information, we suffer and we think that we are not adequate, right? Now, I want to also talk about how some men who walk around with a lot of insecurities about themselves, because it's not just about a woman thing. There are a lot of black men out there who are very insecure about themselves and about their skin color, and sometimes these men end up doing very well in life. When I say doing well in life, in terms of their careers, and they might be financially sound, and they still feel very inadequate. And sometimes these men, from what I have observed, and some men who I've spoken to, they will go for a woman for a lighter skin complexion because they want to feel accepted in society. They want to move up the ranks. They want to be noticed, and they think that if they're with a woman of my complexion, they're not going to get any notice. So sometimes they go with lighter skinned women, even though sometimes these women are not adding any real value in their lives, but they look good on the arm. They look good on the arm for their dinners, their functions, their high level, whatever they need to go to. And dark skinned women, they just look over you like, no, you don't qualify. You don't qualify. And it is a fact. And I'm not saying this to get anybody angry. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, but it is a fact. This is what is going on out there, right? And I think that all of us can do some introspection and see whether we have any area in here and here that is telling on us, that's showing that we have lack of self-love. I first also had to examine myself before I talk about this topic, because I didn't want to come across as bitter and angry, and like if I'm just kind of pouncing on anybody. So I wanted to be clear in my mind and to be calm and to be good with myself before I even talk about this topic. So I had to do whatever insecurities I may have had with myself, but I just love the melanin. I just love my dark skin, and it's just unfortunate that sometimes there may be guys that I like or men that I like and they like me, but guess what? I am not the right shade. I'm not the right complexion. But what I want to also talk about is that there's a lot of hatred towards lighter skinned women and lighter skinned men. We have to realize that they didn't ask come in that complexion. But because dark skinned women have been overlooked and continue to be overlooked for so long, that there's some sort of resentment towards lighter skinned women. And we also need to get over that, because even though that they're light skinned, guess what? They also face racism if they're in a different country. That racism is either overt or covert, and they experience the same thing, because at the end of the day, guess what? They are still black. So we need to also look whether or not we have some sort of resentment towards lighter skinned people. We need to check that as well. I want to also talk about our features, right? So sometimes when we have dark skinned women that has what they would consider European features. So they have the very slender nose, they have the thin lips, they have the high cheekbones, and sometimes it's only then they get a pass. So for like me, I would say I have like a puggy nose, I have the thick lips, which I love, by the way, right? And I you can see that I'm African, right? Sometimes get overlooked, and it happened to me a lot. And sometimes I go to these auditions and I'll be like, so if you know that's what you wanted, why you bothered to call me for the audition if you know that that's not what you're looking for? So there is so much surrounding and things that we need to look at, things that we need to continue to examine, because it is something very toxic, and it's so heavily among the black community that we don't even realize sometimes things we say, like even those nursery rhymes we used to sing when we were little, right? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch up by the toe. Are we really serious? These are the nursery rhymes, very colonial, right? These are the nursery rhymes that were given for us to sing as children. And because we're none the wiser, we don't know, right? We sing these things normal, and it's like it's not right. It's not right that we have become so comfortable and accustomed being derogatory and condescending and demeaning and degrading to our own self, because that is what it is, you know. Like even statements we make about the black woman, the angry black woman, you know. A black woman, anytime she's assertive, she knows what she wants, she don't stand for nonsense, she's the angry black woman. And that is used by a lot of black men towards black women. You all need to stop, because at the end of the day, your mommy, your great grandmommy, your great great grandmommy was black. And if you even want to trace it and skip and realize that somebody in your lineage was Caucasian or whatever, guess what? You are black. So you all need to stop it. And I think that is so damaging. It's very damaging to, you know, what we do. And I don't know if you all understand or know about the history of this blackface, right? So there was this actor, right? I think this was also around the Jim Crow era. So there was this actor who would sorry. Yeah, so there was this actor who used to do these plays, right? I'm talking about, this is in the US, right? So there were these working class white people, and he would do these skits in the theater, and he started doing this blackface, right? And these working class white people will go after work and go and sit down and watch him and get a good laugh, right? So he would paint his face black, and he would have his mouth exaggerated, like painted pink, and he will get good laughs off of that. We have been through a lot as black people. We cannot afford to have this colorism festering among the black community. You know, we have to be able to embrace who we are. And if it took 20 years and 30 years, or you've been hearing all your life that lighter is better, and we want children with good hair, we don't want a nappy haired child, you know, and we say these things, it's time to start reversing that and embracing who we are. Sometimes even, you know, like we don't want to totally embrace that we are black, so sometimes we're so happy to know that we have another touch of race in us, just so that we don't really accept who we are. So, you know, like, well, I'm not only black, you know, I have Spanish in me, and my great great grandfather was Caucasian, and you know, I'm not saying not to acknowledge whatever the race you have in your blood, but is it that you're just acknowledging, or is it that you are trying to water down that you're black? I'm a person of color, I'm not black. Really? And I think that, you know, it continues to happen. And even in this time where we think that we've come so far, we really haven't, you know. We are just tolerating. There are so many people that grew up in families that felt unloved and unaccepted because they were the darker skin color in their family, and probably other siblings were of a lighter complexion. So, you know, it's, and you know, and how happy we get You know, when somebody has light brown eyes or gray eyes, or come on, I'm not trying to be, you know, hateful, and I hope I'm not coming across as somebody who is, you know, have this chip on my shoulder and I'm just being so angry. But I love who I am. I'm happy every single day that I am a black woman. And I will continue to be who I am unapologetically, right? Or whatever that word is, right? So, guys, I just wanted, and once again, I should have said this earlier, I wanted to have a moment of silence, and I'm now popping this in the middle of the video, but I want to have a moment of silence for my cousin Garvin Jack, who passed away last week Thursday, and it was sudden. And as I said, I was crying a lot, so I was not in the chirpy, happy mood to do a video. So guys, that's all I have to say for now. I believe I will have a part 2 of this colorism, because there's actually more. Yes, there is more for me to talk about, but I would just like leave it here and let it simmer a bit, and let us all think about where we are falling short in our the things that we say, our actions, you know, the things we give sometimes lighter skin color or persons of a different race a pass, but when it's our own, we come down very heavy. And we may do it unconsciously, yeah? We may do it unconsciously, but it happens, and we need to look at that. We need to correct that, because there are a lot of things that is happening in this world, right? And if you don't have that knowledge about who you are, you're in big trouble. There is, in Egypt, the pyramids. At the entrance of every pyramid, it says, "Know thyself." And we all have to know who we are, and that starts with knowing where we came from and honoring that and sitting in it and sitting in our truth and embracing who we are and not trying to be anybody else, you know. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all. We're in July. Please hit that subscribe button, click on the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, share, please. I'm begging for likes and I'm begging for subscribers, okay? So I think that's all for now, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.